Hey everyone, welcome to Mindset Talks Life Beyond the Checkboxes. I'm John Jermillo, Leadership Performance Coach.
I'm Prati Kaufman. I'm a marketing energy coach and an entrepreneur.
As your co host for this series, we want to have real everyday conversations. We're both coaches, but we're not coming at this conversation as coaches, just as colleagues talking about everyday topics, issues, things that come up, ideas we come up with. Stepping aside from the check boxes of that first conversation in coaching, everyday topics, everyday conversations. So for this particular one, I mentioned coaching, and the topic in this one is just what coaching has taught me. So it's to get to kind of the idea of our evolution as a coach. What has that process been like for us, or what have we taken away from that process? I know that for my part, Prati, as a leadership coach, there are certain realizations that I've made uh, since I began coaching. The first one is just listening, that we don't as a society listen the way that we should to each other, because it's people just they go through so much in the course of their work, their business, uh, and sometimes they feel as if they can't speak to anybody, and so they share things with me, under confidentiality. So it's just amazing how much we don't listen to each other, where people feel maybe they don't have other places to go to. So that's kind of opened my eyes and made me realize how much more I should listen to people. It's about accountability, the importance of accountability. It's made me think about that accountability versus support, because we may say that we have very supportive friends, very supportive family, but that's not the same as motivating somebody. It's not the same as providing accountability. It's more like, and I'm talking very generally. We support what you do. We're happy for you. Let us know if you need anything. Versus somebody that's kind of in your ear on a weekly basis saying, "We talked about your goals last week. What happened? How are you doing? Why didn't that work out? Where are we going to go next week?" So it's this constant motivation and accountability. And then the other thing is speaking. We don't speak as much as we should. I think a lot of people, their frustration, from my standpoint, working with coaches and students and whatnot, is we're not good storytellers. You know what I mean? You learn about your clients. You probably see this in marketing. You learn about your clients, what they have to offer, what they can bring to the table, but we don't craft that brand. We don't craft that story. We don't even tell that story. It's not even that you have to craft it in a perfect way. You don't, but we don't even share that story for whatever reason. Maybe we don't think it's good. Maybe we don't think we're worthy, whatever it may be. I've learned over the pandemic and through my work that we're very poor storytellers, and we don't typically share who we are, and we need that kind of encouragement to get that going. So those are the biggest lessons that I've taken away from coaching, is just what people don't share, what people don't take in. How about you?
So actually, when you said this topic, it was very interesting because what I've learned from coaching is more about me, okay, than people.
Hmm.
I've really figured out the kind of person I am as a coach, right? So I know, like, I don't have a lot of patience. Like, if you have told me 3 times you're going to do something, and if you don't do it, like, I'm not going to follow up, right? I'm not here to babysit, right? So I always say, if you're going to be working with me as a coach, I don't, as a coach, for me, I'm going to tell you what you do. I don't record things. I don't send emails, reminders. I don't do, here is a summary of what you need to be doing, right? You are an adult, you have your life in control, and so there's a lot of things I discovered about me as a person, that how I'm not the best coach, let's put it this way. I'm really a good coach for people who are ready to move forward, like who are ready to do it, but I am not a good therapist, let's put it this way. I am
Mm.
not going to sit and listen to you go on and on and on and on about your problems when the solution is right there. You do something or you talk about it. So I think that's where I think I kind of like the consultant part of me, which is just like, okay, I can get shit done, and I have a team. I can just go and do this.
Mhm.
So coaching has been an interesting experience. Just let's put it this way for me, all right, personally, and for the clients who work with me, they absolutely love me, but there are people who just cannot stand me as a coach too.
That you've worked with or people outside
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
clients?
people who work with me and after a week they're out, or 2 weeks, or after a month they're just like they cannot just do it, you know. And again, there's nothing wrong. I just observe these things because I'm really, I think I'm it takes a certain type of people um,
Yeah,
for
and I
both of
and
us to work together.
And I think that's the nature of the differences in our disciplines, right? Where mine is about helping people get past those roadblocks. At a bare minimum, though, they have to be willing to do the work. So
Yeah,
there does have to be, even on in leadership coaching, there you have to have the bare minimum of, you know, for instance, like my test is okay. We finished up our initial conversation. Follow up with me to let me know when is a good date for the next conversation. And if
yeah,
I don't hear from them, that's it. I don't hear from them.
yeah.
Because I, like you said, at a certain point, you're not going to be chasing people around. There has to be that accountability. Yours is more, it's more dire. There's more on the line because it's more business, it's more livelihood. So they, and we've talked about this before where, um, a certain level of performance is expected. I mean, you're going to be pouring coaches are going to be pouring what they can into whoever they're working with. They have to meet them halfway or some part of the way. Yes, it's a business. Yes, you get paid, but at the same time, if you're not taking what you can, if you're not escalating somebody, elevating them to that next level because they're holding back, and hey, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And to me, if a relationship doesn't work out and people may call it quitting, you're cutting your losses. Not everybody is made. We've talked about this. Not everybody is made to sync up, to see eye to eye. There are going to be differences, and not every coach, no matter what business they may be, can be able to guide or assist whoever they're working with. You have to make sure that the energy levels are consistent, or else both are going to go nowhere. Both sides of that relationship equation are going to go nowhere.
Exactly. And I think that's what the coaching is so interesting, because the more I coach, more I go dive deep into myself to find, because at the end of the day, I truly believe that answers are all with them, right? Like I don't give answers in a way. I'm very good at telling, hey, this is exactly what I think you need to do. I have opinions of about every little thing, and I don't follow this whole thing about the whole concept. Oh, you should never tell your client what to do. In my marketing world, no, we it's a very clear that this is what I would recommend. It's up to you to take it or leave it. But in a personal life, what I'm learning is they come to the coaching because there's mixed feelings about their life, right? There are mixed feelings about business, the way they are doing things. There's a mixed feeling about a lot of things, and all they want is really that clarity, right? Like what is right for me. But every decision, because there's so much conditioning has happened
Mhm.
to them, that the decisions are based on those conditioning. So I feel like in more often than not, all I need to do is uncondition things, and they figure out what next thing is. It's like my role is only one. It's unconditioning all the things they've learned, or unlearning everything they have learned. But in the process, I have to unlearn everything I've learned so much. It's so fascinating to me. Like the more I coach, more I learn about me.
And that's amazing. We're lucky to feel that way. Can you imagine same thing that we've talked about when it comes to getting what you want and not having any obstacles? Can you imagine if there wasn't any growth or development in your mind the way you approached your clients and it was just kind of like, okay, I know what you need, boom. I know what you need, boom. I know what you need, boom. And you weren't evolving, you weren't shifting your perspective, and it adds value to you as you go as well. Uh yeah. And clients are just so different. They're just so different where, their needs are different. But what you said is very important in terms of unlearning and then relearning, because I find, we may be in different businesses, but that is standard across most coaching. Everything that you've learned to date, everything that society has taught you that has gotten you in kind of like the hole where you are now, we have to unlearn that. And I'm not a therapist by any measure of the imagination, but asking them questions about what their understanding is, it's important for them to develop and get out of that hole. But it's amazing how much we have. It all comes back to psychology. That's why I studied marketing in college, was just because it was the business discipline that was closest to understanding people's minds. And it's you can just go so deep with it in terms of marketing and business, and everything that we've been taught today can be an obstacle, and it's just constant evolution where you just got to keep unwinding all the bullshit that you learned and refreshing your mind with new tools.
Yeah, and again, like it's a like the what coaching taught me that I don't coach. Life coaching is not for me. I am not good at complaints. I cannot sit here and listen to somebody says my life is falling apart and for an hour, but not looking with the solution. That's why I love working. That's why I became a marketing coach. Believe it or not, that was the biggest lesson about the coaching I learned is when I work with small business owners, they want to do it. They know they're in it. They want to be successful. They are ready to take action. They're not ready to they already have the mindset of not looking at the problems but solution. So I love working with them because that's just the right type of people for me. But I am not a good life coach. Like I don't do good life coaching in the sense is life coaching. I feel like I almost have to be a therapist in the sense is like let's let them talk it out, hold this space for them to process the feelings and things, and then give them. But I think when you come to the leadership, I don't know how the leadership coaching is, but when people come to me, they are ready to rock their business. They want to do their best. Like they want to show up and they want to own it. So I think it's a lot easier to coach them to that place for me.
Yeah, it can be difficult on my end because sometimes it's the person reaching out to me that's ready, that will do, whatever that we work through, right? Sometimes it's someone that has been assigned to me by their boss, and sometimes they're not ready. They don't have the motivation. Like you can just tell they don't want to be there. They're just checking a box. So it's amazing the personalities that you see across the gamut, and I completely get why you want to be with those motivated people. It's to me like that mindset, and I kind of think that way too. It's two different disciplines, but I see it the same way. I want to be a bit selfish because even though you are providing a service, you need to take care of yourself. If you're working with somebody or only clients where you have to do that much, you have to kind of pull them along that much, put that much energy into them, carry them along the way. That's not what it should be at all.
Yeah.
um, like you said, it's not therapy. When you go into coaching, whatever discipline it may be, you have to have that full understanding of what it is you anticipate, what it is you'll tolerate for yourself. And I think you and I are very similar along that vein where you have to guard your energy, you have to guard your time. And if it's just all negativity, no attempt to build a positive or move forward slightly, it catches up with you. And even therapists need therapists and coaches need coaches because a coach isn't immune to all the negativity that may happen in the world. A coach needs some kind of guidance themselves, somebody to that they can go to, whether it's a mentor or an actual coach to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, and I mean that's really important part of any coach, right? I have a spiritual coach, I got a business coach, I got all kind of people I need to talk to. I have a mentor, right? I who just whenever I need like to talk it out. So we have all those places, and I have weekly meetings with them, some are once a month, depending on what is needed. But at the end of the day, I think really all of us are coaches in our own. We are coaching, believe it or not. Every single one of you are coaching. It's just whether you recognize it for what it is, because there's no way you could, again, you cannot be live and breathe and live a life without coaching yourself out of certain things or coaching others around you. Even a coffee person or barista is coaching, other people around you. You're always doing that. So it's a great way to discover you, if nothing else. Forget about what you do for others. It's a great, I think, a mindset which can help us tap into our own potential and really see ourselves for what and who we are, and what we give to people is really what we are giving to ourselves.
Absolutely. Aside from what it's taught us, that's an amazing point to make. And it's that amazing point to make because a lot of people don't know what they could coach other people in. They're on cruise control in their life. They're reacting to what life gives them, what life puts in front of them, the cards that they're dealt. But they don't think about, okay, what am I fucking good in? What am I good in that no one else is good in that I could teach somebody, that I could coach somebody? What They don't think about their own unique experiences. What's amazing is when I work and coach college students, it's amazing how much they don't realize how much experience they already have. They think success looks a certain way, and they say, okay, this is the university that's teaching me. My success is only tied to that degree. I bring nothing to the table. It's like, no, like everybody's experiences in one way, shape, or form contributes to who they are going forward. You may see yourself only as a pizza delivery boy in college or high school, which I was. You may see yourself only as a female athlete in college, and you don't think that brings anything to the table. But there's a lot that people have done in their life that they can bring to the table and help others and coach others in. It's a matter of realizing it. Again, it's that storytelling. It's that storytelling. We think we're just living the script of life, but we don't stand back and see, holy shit, this is what I'm good at. Holy shit, this is what I love doing. Let me see if there are other people out there, a tribe that I can find where I can share those resources, that knowledge, that energy, that love, that you can coach in anything. That's a great point that you brought up. You can just pick something you love and just share that passion, see it in others. You know, I
Exactly.
don't think we see each other enough. See what you can find in other people. It's amazing what comes out of someone just by asking a question that maybe they've never been asked before. So I would implore people, think about what you're good at and look for what you can find in other people. You will make somebody's day, you will make somebody's life if you ask them about what they're about. Coaching starts with just what are you about? What do you want? What are you looking for? But how often do those questions really come out in the everyday life, aside from this podcast?
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun topic you brought today. Thank you. What coaching taught me, I just feel like it has been such a great self realization journey more than anything, and it's just fun to do what I do for and share the same experiences with others. That's all it is. I'm just sharing it. It's not I'm teaching them or I'm doing anything. It just I have a path I've walked on and I can share some of the things and it may help people or it may not, but it's a choice like they have to make and they need to forge their own path based on that at the end of the day. So it's a great way.
And I like the point that you brought up, that we both brought up, but you gave examples of the type of coaches you have. Because people have said to me during the pandemic, I had like mental health issues. I was stressing out, my anxiety kicked up, and people were like, "Well, you're a coach. Don't you know how to figure that out by yourself? Like, why do you need somebody else to help you with that? If you're a coach, why don't you have your shit together?" you know, saying it, tongue in cheek and joking, but at the same time, it's like, no, just because I'm a coach doesn't mean I have my shit together.
Oh my god! I mean, this is such a bad concept. Like I have a tarot card reader I go to, which is so funny because it's such a woo-woo thing. I have a spiritual coach, right? Even though I have all the answers, it doesn't matter. I like doing these things. It's just so much. Again, it's living life fully, not thinking that I know and I have all the answers and I know my shit. Like you have to grow.
I think people have that impression if you have anything left to learn, that you're not a specialist, that a specialist should have all the answers. And that's what gets leaders in trouble is like they feel like they should have all the answers. No, I want to see that you want to fucking learn more. If you think you have all the answers, I don't want to be in your boat when that boat goes down. I want somebody that's going to say, "You know what? I'm still improving. I don't have the answers. Do you? Do you have any suggestions, ideas?" What makes us, you and me, great as coaches is that we're curious. We want to make things work. We want to elevate that level of performance. It's not that we have all the answers, but no one's going to work harder to try to find those answers than you and me. Right, Patty?
Exactly. So this next topic, what to do when someone has all the answers.
Yeah, fucking run. fucking run. Absolutely not.
So that would be a
Um,
great topic.
no, seriously, seriously. If you meet somebody and they say I have all the answers, just no, absolutely not. If they have no room for any kind of absorption of new knowledge or what you're all about, because they no. But
Except for one thing though, wife has all the answers and that's it. There's no more discussion about it. I don't want to hear a word about it against it. A wife has all the answers. That's it.
did you
Period.
say life or a
Wife.
wife?
As a wife, I have all the answers and that's the
Anyway,
end
at
of
this
the
point, this is
discussion.
where we're gonna end the episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you. For yeah, no, you make a good point.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you this is an energized conversation. I loved it. If you have any suggestions for something that we may have missed in this conversation or something else that you want to hear about or talk to us with us about, let us know. We want to let we're just curious. We're curious people. We're coaches, but that doesn't mean we have all the answers. We just love chaos of conversations and learning from these kind of talks that we can have. So keep that in mind when you watch these. And until the next episode, take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.